Hi and welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week again doing some charcoal and soft pastel landscape drawing or painting, depending which way you want to look at it. I fluctuate between the two. I also wanted to talk about or ask a sort of question, maybe a rhetorical question, but ask a question. So when you're painting or drawing pictures, landscapes, let's say, are you painting a picture of a landscape or are you painting a picture about a landscape? The little change of preposition in those two sentences makes a big difference, I think. It's an entirely different approach to making art. And I've mentioned this before about, at least two different ways of approaching art. One, the more sort of traditional approach, the more, I want to use the word conservative approach to making art, which is primarily focused on recreating reality. So it's representational art. And in that case, from what I've seen and my opinions, most of those sort of artists are painting pictures of places. They're just reproducing reality. That's not my thing, but I'm not criticizing it as such. We all have our own approaches, our own emphasis and whatnot. So if people want to do that, I'm not criticizing it. But the other way, the way that I prefer to approach art, is painting or drawing pictures about places. So the difference is, as I've said before, I don't use any references. So I can only really draw or paint landscapes, Irish landscapes, or I guess Japanese landscapes, because I lived in Japan for about 15 years or so. I couldn't paint or draw a landscape of, I don't know, New Mexico, for example, or the Australian outback, or Saskatchewan in Canada, or any of those places, simply because I've never been to any of those places. I don't have any connection with those places. Sure, I can get a photographic reference, but then I'm drawing or painting a picture of that place. Because I don't have any connection, I can't really paint a picture about the place. Because I don't use any references, I'm using sort of imagination and memory and what I feel about the place, and when I'm thinking about these landscapes, what sort of thoughts, emotions, memories are coming up. That's what I'm trying to do when I'm creating these landscapes. So it's not trying to reproduce reality, it's not trying to create pretty pictures or realistic pictures. Again, I'm not criticizing that type of art, but that's not what I'm trying to do. So I think it's a good question to ask yourself when you're, if you're getting into art, or even if you've been doing it for a while and maybe feel as though you're not making the progress that you would like to make, maybe ask yourself that question. What is your goal? What are you trying to do with your art? Are you painting pictures of places or painting pictures about places? It's not just a slight difference or a trick of language or anything. I think there's a fundamental difference between those two approaches. So anyway, this little painting picture today was winter landscape or winter-ish sort of landscape. In Ireland, we don't get a lot of snow, but most winters we get at least a week or so. And last week or 2 weeks ago, temperatures were below freezing every day and there was snow on the ground, at least where I live, which is kind of high up, I guess. So it sort of inspired me to think about winter landscapes. And you can see two on screen. The one on the right, is just charcoal. There's no color in there. And it's just having fun moving the charcoal around on the paper with a piece of tissue paper, just creating these imaginary landscapes, if you like, but they are based on reality. to some extent anyway. Okay, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, listening, and hopefully see you again in next week's video.